I got a little head start on taking apart the passenger seat. As you can see here, I'm starting to dismantle just that back cover. The way you take it off is actually through these zippers. You'll see here, and there's the zipper itself. You're gonna have to take a screwdriver, or actually just kind of some pliers, some needle nose pliers, and to pull this out because it's tucked in at the very bottom. But once you do that, you can zip both sides and pull it out, and that'll allow you to actually see the back. What we also did before is remove the seat belt buckle connection and wiring harness. We're going to need that to hook this up to the Recaro passenger seats. Keep the bolt here, but most likely it's just going to stay on because there's a lock washer on it. The other thing you need to keep is you're pretty much going to keep all the wires on the passenger seat except the side airbag, but you're going to get this harness and pull it out from the bottom. So this was hooked up to that seatbelt harness, and it was also routed with this piece here, this little yellow attachment. I pulled it out just now from this here. So if you noticed, this little attachment here was connected by 2 bolts that I just removed as well. So this bolt here up top, and then you're gonna have to take out the harnesses slowly so you can get access to the other bolt there. And now we're at the step where we're just trying to take this out. So what I'm gonna try to do is remove this wiring harness so I can free up this assembly. And from there, I think we're gonna have to keep removing the leather seats in order to cut out that kind of like sensor that knows if the passenger sat down or not. So that's what we're gonna have to get from this car. You can see here the seats are ripped. I don't really care for them at this point, so I'm okay with kind of gutting out this seat and taking it apart because I actually want the SRS light off on the RSX. So I'm going to keep getting started here. So here's an update on removing this kind of like hub here. The first wiring harness was pretty simple. You just kind of unclip it through that button there. So that's pretty simple. But this one isn't one single harness. It's actually 3 separate ones. So the goal is to actually pull them out separately. There you go. And so you can see I've loosened one, and I'm gonna try to loosen the other ones. All right, so I just took it out, and so these 3 harnesses were lodged in like that. So now it's taken apart. So I'll put this with the rest of it. How I like to take out the harnesses is actually getting a pair of needle nose pliers. And what I do is just kind of like wrap the edges on here and just pull out. And that's kind of what I did earlier. Couldn't film it because I only have one hand and no tripod for this one. But this is out now, and it looks like it's going through the cushion and the seat frame, this little metal part here. So I'm gonna follow the wire, and I think that will lead us to the sensors. So it looks like these wires are actually just going through right here and going through the back of the seat. One goes up to the top of the seat, and the other goes to the side, as you can see there. Let me zoom out so you can get a little seat perspective there. And so we're gonna have to follow those out and then see where those wires lead, because I think we'll need all of it. Most of these harnesses are connected to these little white clips that attach to the seat. And it's actually one of the more simpler ways to pull out a plastic piece. A lot of times I break them, but here there's 2 pieces and they're kind of locked in. All you do is push up here and push down here. So you notice that? And that just kind of loosened it out. And from there, it just comes apart. See? And then now that is out. And the same thing here. You just kind of put a little pressure on one end and it just comes right off. And so that's how we're pulling out the harnesses. You don't need like pliers to like rip out these clips. It just comes out naturally. So that's fantastic. Saves us some time. And we'll just keep following everything that's going on here. So progress update on this. I've pretty much removed the top cover. I haven't lifted it out yet. But we ripped the seat cover. We didn't really want it anyways. But that has exposed what we're going to grab here. You can see when I showed you guys the back, there were some wiring harnesses connected in that hole there, that hole there, and then this hole in the back. If I go around, and I can show you where that was. There's that hole there, that hole on the side, and this hole in the back. So those 3 spots where those 3 individual kind of wiring SRS harnesses were going to, and you can see it's there. So I've taken out the top cover here, and you can see what that looks like. I just threw it on the floor there because we don't need that anymore. And I've started to pull those 3 little wiring clips and the harnesses outside from the back to the front. So you can see I pulled that out here. This one I haven't pulled out yet because it's just so close to these sensors. I just don't want to, in the process of pulling this wire through, I don't want to rip this. And this one I've already kind of pulled out. So what we're going to do now, you can see as I'm kind of just tearing out slowly. There you go. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of putting a little firmness to it, putting all my fingers against these 4 strips here, just to make sure I don't actually tear the whole thing. As I tear more, I'm just kind of repositioning my hand. This is my first time doing this, but I'm repositioning my hand closer to the sensors, just so they're not just pulling it all together and it just tears. Kind of just loosening it as it gets to this section here where there's like more of those little clips. And then I'll just take it again and just pull it through. Looks like it just was stuck in the back, like from some adhesive. There you go. So that's the first one. We're gonna need all of them. This is out safely. I'm gonna put this on the side here. I'll come back to it later. But I'm just gonna work through the rest of this, and I'll just keep filming so you guys can see. Not least, this last part. There we go. So you can see that's the back. There's the STI again, just parked inside. But we got this last sensor, and those are the 3 that I followed from the wiring harness. I'm not sure if there's one down here. I'm gonna check, but I think that's everything. The only thing left is the side airbag. We're not gonna use that for the car, but probably gonna just take it off and sell it. But that's pretty much how you take off the SRS components. All right, and over here is the dismantled seat. You can see the cushion there, the cover, which we're probably just gonna throw away because this is done for, and the seat frame, which is pretty interesting to see, just to see the metal piece there, the exoskeleton or just the frame itself. But we're probably gonna try to see if anyone wants these things. If not, we're just gonna toss it eventually as well. So this is everything we need to keep to make sure the car SRS system is running. Basically the passenger seat sensor, passenger buckle, all the harnesses that keep it all together. So we're going to clean it up and put it in the car, and we should be good to go. So I've pulled the RSX out, and we're ready to install the driver's seat to the car. And so here's the RSX. So I've installed, just another recap, the rear ITR seats in suede, the blue, and the blue carpet. Started to put the garnishes back on, have the wiring harness pretty much set up. We're just gonna leave this on the side for now. I can connect them later. And we're gonna go ahead and put it in. We're gonna leave the passenger side out for now, and I'm gonna go and just do the driver's seat only. So we have the Recaro seat in. And I'm gonna put the new bolts directly in the car. And one goes there. It's the front of the seat. All right, so we have the Recaro seat in. There's one bolt in the front and the second bolt in the front. That's mounted. We're gonna torque that down at 24 foot-pounds right now using a torque wrench. Just gonna finish up with the back again at 24 foot-pounds. All right, so we have one Recaro seat installed. Just cleaned up and vacuumed the carpet. It's torqued down at 24 foot-pounds according to the RSX manual. It's looking pretty good. This is the passenger seat. You can see that I've already put on the seatbelt buckle and tucked the wiring harness sensor beneath the chair. So it's ready to be installed. And then over here, I pretty much have the driver's side seat in. You can see how it looks with the black suede seats and the Recaro blue Wildcat seats there. So I just need to install the passenger seat now. A few things I've done. These are the new bolts that I'm going to install. I kind of just put it in a bags for now. There's a wiring harness for the amplifier. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the amplifier, but I'll keep it there because we have a subwoofer in the back. And then all these extra sensors, I'm just tucking underneath here. I'm going to drop the seat right on top, and then we'll just plug it back into these sensors here. That's what I'm doing for now. A lot of people put it in like a black bag. Eventually, I guess I'll put in that too. But for now, that's what I have. I installed the center console, cleaned it up. Looks great now. So that's what I'll have to put that first, just so I didn't have any trouble just trying to fit it in later. And I'm still working on this area, so I'll snap that back in after. Hey y'all, this is the last update. It was a multi-day process just to do this interior. But I'm proud to say that we're done. I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. And so we have the two blue Recaro seats, followed by custom Lloyd mats with the blue interior. I'm going for a two-tone look. And then right behind here, we have the black suede Recaros. We're going to keep the black interior from the Type S. And the only thing left that we have to change Still working on the center console, but we're gonna work on the door panels next. But in terms of the major install, including dynamat, interior, seats, we're pretty much done.